What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout and welcome to our how to play BT21 Blue Baby guide. Yeah, this is an archetype that's pretty insane. I'm pretty certain that this one is gonna be tier 1 in the next metagame. It's just very aggressive, very consistent, has a ton of value. And yeah, I just had to bring you guys this one because it's really cool. But before we begin the video, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, to our patrons Ryan, Bixen, Adnan, Frank, Scotty, Miguel, Nave, Bryce, Derek, Jakub and Golden Federic Kiryu. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. If you want to support us this way, if you want to buy us coffee, help this machine keep going, you don't need to, but the link to our Patreon is in the description below. And yeah, with that being said, let's just jump into it. Roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So in this video, I will go over the brief archetype breakdown. I'll explain to you what's happening in the archetype and why. We will go over lines of play, interactions, I will show you my deck list, then we will go over the first 3 turns, and we'll just end everything with a summary, like always. So yeah, that's it. Let's go! What is our game plan with Blue Baby? So we're playing an extremely strong blue aggro deck. Baby is an extremely aggressive deck. You're gonna see it, like there's so much value here. You can cheat out so many things with this deck. It's crazy. You draw a ton, you swarm the field because you use your field card, which is basically like a second hand, and then you play cards from under it, and you also get to remove your opponent's cards, put them under your field card, and then later you can play your opponent's cards. It's pretty cool. We're super excited about this new baby deck. Let's just go and check it out. Let's start with our leader. So on the front side, you start with a field card in play. That's the gimmick. This is the first part of the gimmick. You start with a field card. He draws 2 on attack, which is great. Draw 2 is always good. Yeah, you're still plussing 1 because you need to put 1 card from your hand under your field card, but you're going through your deck fast. Drawing 2, don't underestimate when it says draw 2. It's really good for consistency because you're just running through your deck. That's awesome. Awakening early can be tricky, but it isn't impossible to pull off. We actually have a full explanation in our first 3 turns guide. It's possible, it's tricky, but it can be done. This leader really relies on proper sequencing. You will see. Now let's check out the awakened side. On the awakened side, he's Baby Awakening with a Grudge. This is one of my favorite leaders in the game. Like, this guy does everything. First off, like, he's amazing. He does so much. He has Overlord. This is how you draw. You bottom deck your servants to draw 1. Then auto, when he attacks, you have 2 possibilities. You either look at top 5 and you grab 1 brainwashed card and you put it under your field card and then you shuffle your deck, or you choose one of your opponent's cards, which isn't Son Goku GT, doesn't matter, and from their drop area, and you put it under your field card. So you get to remove something from your opponent's drop area, fuel it into your field card, and then you get to play it on your side. It's the whole thing that happens later on. Activate main once per turn. Add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Choose up to 1 of your blue brainwash cards and it gets plus 5k power for the turn. This one isn't good. It would have been so much better if it were activate battle. It would have been just flat out amazing. Because it's activate main, you just run into negates. That's the problem. But it's good to have this for these slower matchups, because you have a very good Z leader, and this just gets you there because it's one of those which you can Z awaken into it at 3 lives or less. So at least you have a way to Z awaken if you're playing in a slower, grindier matchup. Let's check out the Z leader. The Z leader is Baby Finishing Revenge, 20k Z awaken for 1 blue energy when your life is 3 or less. This one can actually work with the old Baby leader, so if you want to try it out with BT21 Baby, you can do so. So, first off, 20k baseline, that's very good. 20k baseline on a Z leader is amazing, but of course it comes with a cost of 1 energy and 3 lives or less. Auto. When you have a battle card with Servant in play, at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. It sounds good. It sounds good, though it also mostly depends on how many Servant cards you will have out on the field, because your only way of drawing is bottom decking them. So it can be a bit tricky, but it's definitely not impossible to do. You will have this auto go off multiple times through turns, basically. Then activate main once per turn for 1 blue energy. Play up to 1 battle card under your field card in your battle area and negate its non-servant skills for the game. Additionally, that card gains servant for the game if it did not have it originally. So this is what you do with your opponent's cards. You can put some of your opponents, for example, you find a way to get their boss monster into their drop, for example. You swing with your awakened leader, you put the boss monster under your field card, basically, and then you can later Z-awaken, use activate main, you can get the boss monster. Yeah, it won't have any skills, but it will gain servant, so that's additional plus 10k. Swing at them, and then you can just bottom deck it to draw a card. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad, not gonna lie. Pretty good. Now here is the field card. So this is our main gimmick. It is Trunks being assaulted by toilet paper. Wet toilet paper. That's at least what the artwork looks like to be. A barrier. Barrier is awesome. It's never leaving. That's good. Thank God at Bandai started putting barrier onto field cards. Auto once per turn. If your leader is a blue baby with an original power of 15k or more and it is your turn, please keep this in mind. 15k or more, you need to be awakened to get this auto off. It's very, very important for sequencing on turn 2. It's super important for sequencing. We'll go over it later in the video. When you play a blue baby with an energy cost of 4 or more, you play up to 1 battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less and original power of 10k or less from under the field with its non-keyword skills negated for the turn. So basically, whenever you play a baby, you bring one of his minions. That's basically what it does. It's a free play. So you know how you put cards, for example, with your leader's on awakened side, you put a card under the totalization plane. So you're just saving it for later. You're not really negging yourself, especially because a lot of these cards have servant anyway. So this is literally like your second hand, except you can't combo. You can semi-combo with it. It's a long story. But yeah, so you're just saving your battle cards and then you can get them, you can attack, they have servant, you just bottom deck them, draw a card, get the card back, which you spent on your turn 1. Activate main once per turn. Place 1 mono blue Vegeta GT with an energy cost of 1 or 1 mono blue brainwashed from your hand under this card and draw 1. This is the +0 basically. It's a long term +1. So every single turn, if you wish to awaken fast, then every single turn you use this activate main. You just bottom deck 1, draw 1, and then you also get to draw from your leader. So basically what you can do here is you put, not bottom deck, you put a servant under the field card, and then you draw 1. Then you play a baby, you play that servant for free, attack with him, bottom deck him, draw 1. So you basically drew 2. Yeah. Now let's check out the Z battle cards that you will need for awakening. We have 2 Z battle cards in the deck. This is the first one. This one helps us awaken if we sequence it properly. Unique barrier 5k Z stack for blue baby with an energy cost of 4. And then auto, when he's played, you look at top 7. You grab a 1 mono blue Vegeta GT with an energy cost of 1 or 1 mono blue brainwashed and you place him under your field card and then you shuffle the deck. So you fuel your field card. You need to have 4 cards under it to awaken. And then activate main for 1 blue, place one Vegeta GT only card from your drop under a field card under this card, and then you play the baby. So you will usually 99% of the time you will be doing this from the drop. So what you actually do is, I'm gonna show you when we get to lines of play. You play a Vegeta on your first turn, you charge him into the Z energy, you pay this baby with him, he goes to the drop, and then when you use activate main, you put that same Vegeta from the drop under this card. That's how it works. I'm gonna show you all of this, like I said, but first let's check out the 4-drop. Our 4-drop is baby parasitic complete, unique, permanent. Once per turn, if this card would be KO'd by an opponent's skill, you may place one card from under your field in your under the field card in your battle area into your drop. So once per turn, it can get KO'd. That's pretty sweet if you ask me. And then, of course, it's 20k, and when he attacks, if your leader is a blue baby, when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that doesn't include Son Goku GT, doesn't matter, in its character name and place it under your field card. So it's a 20k beat stick, which can't get KO'd once per turn, which also fuels the field card, which then allows him to use the permanent so that he doesn't get KO'd, or allows you to play the cards that you placed under the field card. Yeah, this one does a lot. Pretty cool. Plus, he's a 4-cost baby, so he will automatically, if you're awakened, this card will automatically trigger your field card and it will bring you more battle cards into play. Like there's so much synergy, it's so awesome. Let's go over the 4-drops. Yeah, we have even more of them. So we have Baby Anti-Saiyan Murder Weapon, one of the best names in the game. He's just a very solid 20k blocker with Revenge. And the other one is the SR1 is amazing. So this is Baby Bitter Revenge on Saiyans, 20k, basically unison removal. So yeah, he only works on unisons, which cost 2 or less, and then you get to bottom deck them. But still, it's a very good unison removal. It creates a scenario in which you don't need to run Black Smoke Dragon to get rid of your opponent's 2-cost unisons, because you have an in-archetype way of doing that. And like a Black Smoke, you're still paying 2 energy for it. So yeah, this one is pretty cool. I run 4 and 4 of them in my build. You can run 4 and 3 or 3 and 4. Just play with the ratios. I like 4 and 4 just for consistency, so that I can get my field card going off more often. But yeah, these are the 4-drops. Let's check out the boss monster. Here's the boss monster. Oh my god, guys, boss monster is like value city. Oh my god. So 35k deflect double strike. Baby. That's important. That's gonna be important. Auto, when this card is played, play up to 2 blue brainwashed cards with different names from under your field cards. So he comes out with 2 servants, basically, because that's what you're gonna be playing. You're gonna be putting servants. They have to be brainwashed, so unfortunately it can't be the cards that you stole from your opponent. But it doesn't matter, because if you remember what the field card does, it says auto once per turn when you play a baby with a cost of 4 or more, and this is a baby. So basically you play him, you pay 2 energy. You just need to pay 2 to play him with his activate main, but you can only play him when your opponent has 3 or more energy. But yeah, you play 2 for 35k deflect double strike, who brings 2, I think, like 15ks with him, which you can bottom deck one of them to draw, and your field triggers because this is a baby which costs more than 4, so you get to bring another servant from play. So for 2 energy you got a 35k deflect double striker and 3 more cards, plus you get to bottom deck one of them with your leader to draw 1. Like this card is insane. Like there's so much value here. Oh my god, like there's a ton of value here. yeah, for what? 2 energy, bring 4 cards, draw 1, swing 35k double. Like this card is just insane. Like this entire archetype is just crazy. But before we finish all of the cards, we need to talk about the tournament pack card. Lastly, let's talk about the promo card. This card should have been in the set. There was no reason for this card not to be in the set. It's so good. You're gonna play like 3 to 4 copies of it. Why is it a TP card? No, that's its biggest downside. What this card does is, yeah, it's a 10k servant, so he's 20k. Limit or activate main limit 1 if your opponent has 2 or more energy, and this card is and there is a card under the field card, basically. You play him from your hand and he gains double strike. So yeah, if your opponent has 2 or more energy, you play him from your hand, he gains double strike. Like this is so good, man. This is very good, because then after you swing with him, you can use your leader's overlord ability, bottom deck him, draw 1. So what you have here is, because it's a card that you don't want to put under your field card, because it only gains double when you play it from your hand, it's basically like a mini Dread Destroyer. You pay 1, he's 20k double, and you get to draw 1 from bottom decking him. You're basically just recycling him. Very, very good card. The only downside is that's a tournament pack card. That's so bad. Like, if Baby is gonna be good, this one's gonna be expensive. So yeah, try to get your Gohan TPs early if you want to play Baby. Okay guys, here is the deck list. This is the list that I came up with. I think that it's pretty standard for a Baby deck, but yeah, feel free to play a bit with ratios. I think this is okay, at least for the beginning. It's definitely not optimized, but yeah, it's a skeleton, it's a blueprint. So here you go, link is in the description below. Now let's check out the Mulligan, after which we will go into the turns breakdown. For the Mulligan, if we are going first, so this is what you want. You want Vegeta, preferably this one, because this one searches, it doesn't draw, the other one only draws. Also, keep in mind that Vegeta's second auto only works with your awakened leader. So this one is the better one to start with. Then we want our babies. Why? Because you have a lot of cards which search in your deck, but they don't search for babies. They search for brainwashed cards, or like Saiyans and stuff. They don't search for baby. That's the problem. So it's always good to start with an additional 4-cost baby in hand, and then if you get your golden ape, awesome. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. The first 2 are bigger priorities. I've decided to go with Revenge on Saiyans, because if you're going first, it is the better one. Yes, you won't get the unison removal from it, but you literally can't play the second one if you went first. So yeah, this is the Mulligan. Alternatively, if you are going second, then this is the Mulligan that you can take. You still go with the Vegeta, but now you can actually go with Son Gohan, because Son Gohan requires that your opponent has 2 or more energy. So if you're going second, Gohan is gonna be online, and then you can also go with the baby. Basically, you can go with the baby, or you can go with the other baby 4-drop, or you can just go with your boss monster. But if you're going second, you're not really looking to play 2 4-cost babies on turn 2. It's better to just play the Z Battle card and then play Gohan for additional pressure. However, if your opponent happens to have unisons, it's good to go with this one. Otherwise, search for Golden Avenger or something. But we will be going through the first Mulligan. So keep that in mind. This is only if you're going second. Alright, let's go through the turns. I'm gonna show you turns 1 and 2 and then suggestions for turn 3. This deck is insanely aggressive. We will show you an example of the first 3 turns. Keep in mind, turn 3 is just gonna be suggestions. The first 2 will have breakdowns, after which you should be set up to win the game on turns 3 or 4. You will need the tournament pack Gohan for this deck to truly shine, but you can replace him with a 4-cost baby. If you don't have the tournament pack Gohans, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You will just be mulliganing for 4-cost babies instead, and then you'll just put something else for the leftover Gohans. We will be using the provided build. We are also assuming that you went first and that you have kept the mulligan. So the mulligan, not the alternative one, the first one. Alright, Blue Baby has invaded Earth again. Let's see what this crazy deck can do. Turn 1, the invasion begins. Okay, the invasion has begun. Let's go. Start the game. Search the deck, play your field card. Then charge 1 and pay 1 for the Vegeta, the better Vegeta. His auto triggers. You search the top of your deck, you grab a card. I've chosen to go with like this Vegeta. You can literally grab whatever you think is useful. You shuffle the deck, and then you use your field cards activate main. You choose a card from your hand. Let's say it's this Bulla. Let's say this is the card that you have chosen. You put it under your field card, you draw 1, and then you pass the turn. In continuation of turn 1, you will need a Z energy on turn 2 to awaken. So, like always, the moment your opponent attacks, you say no negates, you combo with Vegeta, you put him into your Z energy. That's it. Just make sure that Vegeta is in your Z energy. If they somehow remove the Vegeta, just play a different one from hand. Just combo with a different one. But ideally you want a Vegeta in your Z energy on turn 2. Turn 2, domination completed. Time for aggro. Okay guys, so this is gonna be a couple of slides designed solely to show you how and why you awaken in the way that you do. Keep in mind, this is where sequencing comes in. Sequencing, extremely important. So, you start, charge 1, activate main, choose a card, put it under the field. Now you have 2 cards under the field, you need 4. You pay 1 and you pay 1 Z energy. That 1 Z energy is a Vegeta that was in your Z energy. So, you play your Z battle card, it's auto triggers. You search top 7, choose a card, and then you just shuffle the deck. Okay, but you put the chosen card under your field, and then your auto resolves. Then comes the controversial part. This is where sequencing matters. You have 3 cards under your field, you need a 4th one. So you attack with your leader, his auto triggers. You choose a card from your hand, you put it under the field, and then you draw 2. Now you have 4 under the field. It is time to awaken. You awaken, you're still in rest mode, I just left it like this. You pay 1 to use your Z battle cards, activate main. You check the drop for the Vegeta that you sent to the drop from your Z energy. This is the turn 1 Vegeta. Put it under the baby and then play your 4 drop. Now, to explain why, check out the next slide. What happens next is that your field card auto triggers because you have played a 4-cost baby. Now, why did we play it the way that we did? Because the 4-cost baby allows us to put one of our opponent's cards under the field card. This is why. Because you had to awaken first, because the field card wouldn't trigger if you weren't awakened. That's why you swing with your leader to put the 4th card under the field card before you play the 4-cost baby. Because if you just went ahead, played the 4-cost baby, then the field card wouldn't trigger, you still wouldn't be able to awaken, you would have to attack, put the 4th card under the field, and then you would be able to awaken. So you just kind of wasted it. Anyway, auto triggers, you choose a card under the field, you play it, let's say this Goten, auto resolves. You pay 1 and then you play your 4-cost baby, put 2 cards under the field card, then you get to attack, auto triggers of your Z battle card. You choose a card, let's say it's GG. You choose a card from your opponent's side of the field, by the way. You choose one of their cards, you put it under the field card, and then the attack resolves. And now we're finally approaching the end of turn 2. Then you attack with your 4-cost baby, attack resolves. You attack with Goten, for example, attack resolves. Then you use your leader's overlord to bottom deck the Goten, draw 1, and then you finally end your turn 2. Our turn 2 was huge, but this is the result. In your turn 2, you did the following. You drew 5 cards in total, plus 1 or 2 more from your lives. So you drew like 6 cards on turn 2 in total, maybe 7. Then you removed one of your opponent's battle cards with your 4 cost. You attacked 4 times, multiple times for 20k. You have awakened and you got your engine going. That's everything that you did. That's not bad for turn 2. That's not bad at all. You drew so many cards. You removed your opponent's card. You attacked multiple times. That's phenomenal. An important thing to keep in mind is that proper sequencing is everything with this deck. Proper sequencing, like I have shown you, when you attack with your leader, when do you use your field card, when do you awaken, when do you play a baby. Proper sequencing on turn 2 is everything. And now here are some suggestions for turn 3. What to do on turn 3? Well, here are just some suggestions. You can Z-awaken. Realistically, if your opponent puts on enough pressure and you feel comfortable in the situation that you're in. By the way, your opponent will probably go for your board before they go for your leader. Otherwise, you'll just keep swarming it. But there is a scenario in which you get to Z-awaken. You can swarm the field with your baby 4 drops plus the field card. Because remember, each one of them just brings an additional card the first time you play them. Or you can go like aggro with Gohan, because now you get to play Gohan, so that's a 20k double striker. There's a lot of variety on this point onwards. Adapt to the situation at hand. Before we end the video, let's jump into the summary. Baby feels like the next tier 1 blue deck. It's very aggressive, it's very consistent in what it wants to do. You just saw how much pressure you can put out turn 2, and then turn 3 onwards, it just gets crazier. So yeah, I have full hopes in Baby. I believe Baby is going to be the next tier 1 blue deck. I'm spoiling the upcoming tier list a bit with this, but yeah. You can go with a more control option if you feel like it, but I feel like aggro is going to be the better way to go. You can always go control. You can play like Unison, for example. You can play with some older counter cards. I didn't want to go with them because they cost a lot of energy. I believe that aggro is gonna be the way to go, but you have the option to go with control. The deck heavily depends on proper sequencing in turn 2. It really depends on how you sequence your awakening in turn 2. And it also heavily depends on sequencing afterwards, because you need to keep in mind that your field card only triggers on your first play of a 4-cost or more baby. One of its best cards is unfortunately a promo card. That's very unfortunate. I hope this doesn't keep happening, but unfortunately, Baby just kinda got screwed with his promo card. Ub got screwed as well. So if you want to play blue in BT21, you need to get the promo cards. There is a lot to love here. I highly recommend trying out this crazy new Blue Baby deck. It's 99% to set 21 archetype. So if you're someone who's just coming into the game, you like a baby, you can get everything in this set. Except, you know, like super combos and some other stuff. But everything in the archetype you get in this one set. That's amazing. Love that. So yeah, that's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below. Are you excited to give Blue Baby a go? I believe that this is gonna be the next tier 1 blue deck. I've said this multiple times. This one is just crazy value. It does everything on the planet. So yeah, let's see if I'm right with this one. I really hope that I am, because I think that this deck looks phenomenal. But guys, let me know what do you think in the comments below. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you are here, share the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us get to 3,000 subs. Maybe we can get there by, I don't know, the end of June. Not June, July. Let's say end of July. Somehow. So yeah, guys, can't wait to read your comments. And tomorrow we're gonna have a tier list out. That's gonna be awesome. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.